Good morning and welcome. Sorry, I had a message up there and I couldn't see my face. You know, we don't want to see our face when we're doing this little diddly daddly. Life empowerment coach with a focus on goal setting and achievements along with recovery. I am in recovery. Um, I want to help people. I want to help people. One of the main things, one of the biggest things that I've ever learned is that it's okay to say no. It's okay. It is okay to protect your serenity and your peace and the things you hold dearest. Okay, the first session on boundaries was just a little overview. Talked about putting your most important stuff in a circle. Then the circle outside of that circle is the stuff that you know is negotiable. And then outside of that circle, you really just don't care. And then yesterday we talked about having boundaries at work. And I gave a little example, a couple examples about this. Now, today, we're going to talk about having boundaries with your family. Once again, I am Coach Mel with Grow Better LLC. The website is www.growbettercoach.com. You can find me on there. I'm going live on my, I think, 3 things right now. I have some, y'all care about all that. Now, those of you who did not see my other 2 lives on boundaries, if you want to catch up, feel free to go to my YouTube page. Name on my YouTube page is Coach Mel, and the email for my YouTube page is GB, as in Grow Better, with Coach Mel at gmail.com. You can find me on any of those. The ones from live from yesterday and day before are on YouTube. They are on my YouTube business page. Feel free. All right. Whew. Now, so what we came here for, boundaries with your family. You grow up, regardless of the situation, there can be several different family dynamics that you have. I'm just going to talk about a little bit about a couple of them, possibly. I'm going to throw some situations and some different relationship types out there, and we're going to see if any of these relate to you, or if you can take any of this knowledge and apply it to your family dynamics. All right. The only thing about doing this morning ride is there's a couple spots on this road that don't really come in, and it sounds kind of like a robot in the recording. One of those spots is right here. So I'm just going to kind of, I'm just going to look over the lake as I cross this little bridge, and it is great. The little fog coming up off the water is really pretty. It's getting a lot brighter in the mornings, and I'm leaving a little bit later than I normally do. But that's okay, because I'm helping somebody. She's supposed to be there today. And it's not going to be me running the show. All right. Family dynamics. All right. A lot of you have probably heard the whole little, okay, who's the scapegoat? Who's the, you know what? I don't even remember all the other ones. Brain fart. But we have different dynamics with our family. Some of us were raised with grandparents, by grandparents. Some of us were raised by parents. Some of us was a single parent. Some of us in foster homes. You know, there's all different kinds of family dynamics. You may have siblings. You may have children. All right. I'm going to kind of overview boundaries with all of these. So you have your untouchables in that circle. Your children are probably in that circle as an untouchable. But mind you, even though they are untouchable by others and by your others' expectations of you, they are not exempt from you setting boundaries. Okay. For instance, your kids really, really, really want to go shopping. or to go do something. And they keep on, but you have other priorities. Yes, your kids are a priority, but you have a deadline at work that you've already committed to. You can tell your children, no, I can't right now. You do not have to give in to them. They may get mad. They may say you're the worst parent ever or grandparent. You're not my mama. You can't do this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I'm not one of those to be like, their kids, forget their feelings, because their feelings are valid. But their reaction is usually a reaction. Okay. And in this way, it's a great teachable moment to teach them how to respond without reacting. All right. So you can use these as teachable moments as a way to set your boundaries. Your husband or your wife really wants all your attention, or expects you to bow down, one or the other. Say no. I'm using real general scenarios because I don't want to go into detail, because then people will look for differences. And if you're looking for a difference in the situation I'm talking about, then you're not going to see similarities, and you're not going to be able to kind of feel what I'm saying. You're not going to be able to connect with what I'm talking about. So I'm using the real general scenarios. Your parents. Okay. Your parents want you there all the time to do for them and expect it. Come here. Come here. Let me tell you something. Let me just tell you something. You are not obligated to please your parents. You are not obligated to please your parents, grandparents, children. I don't care what they did for you to help you. You're not obligated. Don't do anything out of feeling like you're obligated to do it. When you do that, you're stepping over your own boundaries. And if you're stepping over your own boundaries, you would think you would get frustrated with yourself only, in which you will, but you're also going to be bitter with them, because how dare them expect you to go out of your way and do these things? How dare them expect you to cater to them because they raised you, or they let you stay at their house for a while? How dare them have these expectations of you, then, and let you, get this, I can't believe they asked me to do this. You did it. You didn't say no. And then you're bitter towards them because you went out of your way and you did it. They asked you to, but you have the power to say no. You have the power to say, I really can't. I'm sorry. I love you, but I'm really unable to right now. I've got so much on my plate. You have that power. All right. Think about that for a second while I drink this. Take a little sip. Y'all, I love my cup. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Handmade, not by me, but handmade cup from a lady that lives around here and goes to my church. Excuse me. I love it. All right, so boundaries with family. Now, try to think of a situation. Think of a time in the recent weeks when you felt a tinge of bitterness because you did something that somebody asked you to. All right? Think about it. What'd you do? What did you do? What did somebody ask you to do? And you did it, but you felt bitter and frustrated. Okay? All right. Now, think about that situation. Had you said no, how would you feel about that situation now? Okay, yeah. You may feel a little bad. You're a little bad because you're sad that you didn't do what they wanted you to do, and you may have hurt their feelings, or you may have frustrated them. That's not your responsibility. How people respond and react to you is not your responsibility. That's on them, especially if they're grown. If they're your kids, how they respond and react to you, in a way, it could be your responsibility because you get to, but it's a teachable moment. It's not, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to do your things. I'm going to do it your way. It's more of, hey, you got to understand, don't know, life's not fair. Don't do that. I'll give you something to cry about. Don't do that. It does no good. It's a time to sit down with them and teach them a responsible way to respond and react. And this can be started at a very young age. It doesn't have to wait till they're 13 or 14 and understand. Because I don't know how many of y'all have TikTok, but there's some of these little bitties, they're understanding. Your kids are understanding. I think the hardest boundary I have to set is with my grandmother. One, she's 94 years old. And I don't want to tell her no. And then with that, I don't want to, because you don't want to disappoint her. But I have to. My mother, I have to tell her no sometimes. My friends, oh, no, we ain't talking about friends. Let me go back. I have to tell people no. I have to protect my serenity and my peace and my mental well-being, along with my physical well-being. If your husband is abusive, that's one of the hard boundaries to set, because some ladies or gentlemen are so scared to leave because they don't feel like they can do anything without them. Some of them have been so mentally abused until they're broken down a little by little and feel like they're worthless. All right, if that's you and you're listening to this, get help, prepare help, and walk away. Find you a temporary foundation to step onto until you can recover from the abuse, and you can learn to maintain a life and see that you are a responsible, productive citizen, and you have every ability to grow and to maintain a life that you want. All right. So today we're going to think about how we need to say no to our family. We're going to look at our circles. We're going to see which family members are in our untouchable circle, but really also need to be in their own circle, so that they don't cross over into what else is untouchable. So in that untouchable circle, if you have your kids in there, circle them, because even though nothing outside can cross over that boundary between you and your kids, your kids are not allowed to cross over the boundary that you have around your other untouchables. Y'all get me? It's a lifestyle, and it doesn't mean you got to say no to everything. Compromise is the key. All right, so focus on your boundaries with your family. Focus on what you can say no to, what you hold very important. One thing is, you can get a new job, you can't get a new family. But you can also not let your family interfere with a job if it's going beyond what really they should. So y'all get what I'm saying. I know you do. Remember, the website is www.growbettercoach.com. I am Coach Mel. You can message me on there. The email address is gb, as in Grow Better, with Coach Mel @gmail.com. This live is also on my Facebook. It's on my YouTube. You can watch it anywhere you want to. You can listen to it on Spotify in a couple of days. I'm really getting ready to do a 8 weeks group session, but the first 6 will be the ones that I'm actually interacting with the people in a group setting on virtual. You can sign up for that on my YouTube, on my website. It's going to start in May. There's going to be a Saturday session and a Sunday session. You can come to either one. We want you to sign up for one or the other, but you can, if you miss Saturday, you can be on there Sunday and vice versa. I'm going to do it. There's one person on it. I'm going to do it. We're going to talk about goals. We're going to set some goals. We're going to go over some mindfulness exercises. We're going to see that no matter where you are right now, you can take the next step. You can take the next step, even if it's little bitty step. Something I like to say is little bites. In life, you can't take home everything at one time. Little bites. We're gonna have some little bites. So get ready for that, and get at me. Give me a message. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how you are using this to your advantage. And I hope each and every one of you has an amazing day. And I will talk to you on my next morning ride on my pop-up podcast.